So do you ever go for a walk to help your back and you start to tighten up halfway through? It happens, and it's not because walking is bad. Today I'm going to explain why your low back may be tightening up during a walk and exactly what to do about it so you can help yourself. Hi, I'm Dr. Matt Bradbury, family corrective chiropractor, and here we are in Georgetown, Ontario, Canada. Today we're going to be focused on if you want to walk to help your back, amazing, let's keep doing it. And if you're tightening up and it's causing you a problem halfway through, I want to teach you how to help yourself get through it and why that may be happening, but most importantly, how you can take action starting now. Of course, if you're just tuning in, I love having you. Make sure, take a moment, make sure you subscribe and like if you're enjoying it, and I'd love to interact with you some more. Remember, walking requires coordination between your low back, your core, your hips, your legs, and it's the overall coordination of those tissues that help you move efficiently. And, well, if your hips don't extend properly or you don't engage your glutes, your hip muscles as well as they could be, then your low back may try to take over. So you may feel tighter and the body may be compensating. So reason number one, poor hip extension. And, well, if you're sitting a lot, those muscles in the front may get shorter and more tight. So what I'm doing here, well, this is a great one that you can use actually during the day, throughout the day, multiple times. And what I'm doing is actually just breathing. Remember, this is the more advanced version as you bring your heel towards your buttocks. But if it's too much, you can bring your top of your foot down to the flat part of the chair. And all I'm doing is going to spend 60 to 90 seconds just like this on each side. And if your hips can't extend, this is you practicing the position of hip extension, squeezing your glutes just a bit and hanging out and breathing. Remember with your breath work, longer out than in. So I focus on 4 seconds out, 2 seconds in. Great way to help give you some more hip extension. And while you address that poor hip extension, I got going the lacrosse ball here or the soft tissue ball. And what I'm doing is actually working on the tone of those muscles on the front, those hip flexors. And if you practice it 35 hours a week, well, it's going to take some work. So focus on your breathing. You'll notice here as I move around, I may even flex my knee, help get in there. You may find some real tender spots. When it's tender, hang out, breathe. You're probably going to spend 60 to 90 seconds working on those tissues on the front of the hip complex. Reason number two, weak or late glute activation. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring myself up like this so I'm used to squeezing my glutes. And I'm actually going to march with this one. So I love this just because it forces you to, well, fire your core and you go back and forth and get used to driving your heels, your big toes into the ground. I'll go back and forth. I may do 16 to 20 steps total for multiple sets, so 2 to 3 sets, just getting used to feeling my glutes and not letting necessarily my low back take over. So really focus on activating your glutes, feeling them. If you want to progress it, another great exercise to help that glute activation is just focus on the loading of the eccentric phase just like this. So I'll come up to 1 second and then 3 seconds down. Again, really focusing on feeling your glutes. I'll do 8 to 10 on one side and then I'll do 8 to 10 on the other for at least 2 sets to help train your glutes with your hamstrings and help you really notice them so you can engage them when you're walking and help take some pressure off that low back. And reason number 3, well, poor pelvic stability. And what I'm doing here is actually just focusing on the basic version of the side plank. If you can coordinate, well, your hips with your core, it can be really beneficial to help take some of that compensation out of the low back. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to do 8 to 10 reps on one side, and then I'll switch to the other side. And if you're going to advance it more, saying you get better at this because you've been practicing consistently for a few months, well, what I'm going to do here is actually come up to the side, and I'm going to be just like this, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tap in the front and tap in the back, which is a really great way, 20 to 30 toe taps, and a really great way to help improve that pelvic stability with the core and the hips. And as you progress, I'd love to see you do some single leg stance drills, just like this. And all I'm doing is getting used to, well, digging my big toe in the ground. And when it comes to your pelvic stability, not letting yourself shift side to side. So I'm keeping my pelvis square. And I'm going to do 5 to 6 reps just like this. Remember, I'm going to go down to just where I'm slightly uncomfortable and then come back up. with the eventual goal being, well, you should be slightly above parallel, kicking that back leg straight back, and then coming up. Now, with that, 5 to 6 reps on each side, and you'll notice big toe in the ground, but also really squeezing my glutes and my hamstrings to come back up so that you notice your glutes, and it makes things that much easier so that if you know how to fire your glutes, you're going to take some pressure off your low backs. Build that strength and endurance in those glute muscles and hamstrings so that, well, you can take some pressure and compensation off your low back so that your low back is less likely to tighten up throughout your walks. So as you get back to building up your walks, how would I do it? Well, I'm glad you asked. I would simply take shorter walks, right? So if you noticed by 20 minutes your low back was tightening up, let's do 15 minutes, but let's do it more frequently. I'd focus on those exercises, but I would still make an effort and set an intention to get out there and move. It's because it's so good in terms of circulation, the health of your spine, helping your body, helping your brain, and even making a point of getting outside, get some fresh air, which the outdoors is good for us. Anyways, I'll leave you with that today. Start small, apply the concept of relative rest. Don't quit altogether. It's probably one of the worst things you can do, especially here. So focus on relative rest, doing what you can, and keep on getting out there and being consistent. And remember the health of your spine and nervous system, because of course, you got a brain. That extension of your brain is called your spinal cord, which sends messages to your muscles, organs, and helps with how you heal. And as a corrective chiropractor, well, we're looking to see how your spine moves, which you may have areas of your body talking to you. You may have areas of your body that you have no idea about. And this is why it's so important to get tested. So you may have areas of the spine that don't move properly, and the nerves are irritated, and that's exactly what your corrective chiropractor is looking for. And some of these areas you may feel, i.e. your low back tightening up, and some of these areas you may have no idea about. Everything starts up here, and the information has to get down to the rest of you for optimal function and optimal health. So something to consider. If you're looking for a corrective chiropractor in your area, let me know. I'd be happy to help you find somebody. Anyways, I'll leave it at that today. Make sure, take a moment, if you enjoyed this, take a moment, make sure you subscribe so we can interact some more. I can't do it alone in terms of the big mission to help people understand their health more. More function means more health. Great spinal health is part of the equation as well. Can't do it alone. So take a moment, share it, subscribe so I can see some more of you. I'd love to help you out, and make sure you like it. I really do appreciate all of your help, and I hope you enjoyed today. Anyways, we'll see you soon. Remember, you're far stronger, more resilient, and resourceful than you may have led to believe. Bye for now.